I heard you were a fake flat earther, Rixky.
That Wish? Wish is back.
How's it going?
Good.
Word
Yeah,
around the
man.
realm is that you ain't really feeling flat earth like that.
Yeah, someone mixed me up with someone else, and then chins get a wagon. So seems to be what
Maybe he
happens.
looked at some mountains.
Are you suggesting that mountains prove globe Earth, Rob?
No. But do you think you could steel man the flat Earth argument?
Why would I need to?
Oh, I'm not sure. Are you a flat earther or are you a globe earther?
I'd say the first.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
He's a
Yeah, because
cat
I'm
earther.
like one of them. I'm one of them like not flat earthers because I live by the ocean, but I also live beside the Rocky Mountains, so it's hard to really justify the whole thing being flat, right?
Oh, yeah, I get
Because I
that.
got mountains.
Yeah, I think I can't remember exactly what he said last night, but Roots seems to have a good answer to that. It's like flat is not a shape. I can't remember where it goes after that, but I mean it ain't a shape, so I don't know. The whole term flat though is I don't know, what do they do? It sounds like a silly term that was sort of foisted upon.
It's just relative, right? To the overall.
I think Stanley actually trademarked flat.
That sounds as silly as like a true globe earther coming in here and they're like, no, I'm not a globe earther. Earth's not a globe. It's slightly oblate at the edges. It's not a globe. I actually get offended
globe
when people
does
call
the
me
same
globe
Talking about
thing,
earthers.
Rixky?
Earth's not a
The
globe.
globe-
There's mountains and hills. It's not
Bro,
a
the globe-
perfectly flat globe.
Yeah, say it again. Say it. The globe does the same thing with their model. They say it's relatively spherical, right? They do the exact same thing. They're saying, oh, it's a geoid, it's ellipsoid, it's relatively spherical. So when you say it's relatively flat, it just means there's hills and valleys and mountains and there's a little bit of deviation from the flat. It's not saying anything other than that. It's like the globe does the same thing. It's all how far you would zoom out, I guess.
Did you guys watch QOp's video?
Yes.
God, it was so good, wasn't it?
Yay!
He really broke it down, like how Mark Sargent isn't even Mark Sargent.
Yeah, until you go to Mark Sargent's house and meet his mom, then he might be Mark Sargent, right?
Are you talking about the also fake actor, his mother? QOp's got it all right.
Yeah. I guess he's got it all locked down. Fucking retard.
Actually, QOp
Or
kind
how
of
about this?
doxed Geo in that video.
Yeah, no, he said some stupid shit about GOT. But here, I took a screenshot because this is the level of fucking this guy. I'm gonna post a screenshot in the chat. Just give me 2 seconds here.
You better not be slandering his video.
I'm not slandering his video. I want you to look at this picture and tell me these
Oh,
are the
yeah.
same person.
Dude, I had to pause at that as well and just talk shit.
In this guy. I'm gonna post a screenshot in the chat. Just give me 2 seconds here.
You better not be slandering his video.
I'm not slandering his video. I want you to look at this picture and tell me these
Oh
are the
yeah,
same person.
dude. I had to pause at that as well and just talk shit.
I had to take a screenshot and just say, you think those are the same person? All right,
Yeah, they are.
good on you, Q Up. You're showing your retardness every time you open your mouth.
I think Riggs would
Thanks.
also say that that is
Yeah,
they're the same
Q-Op should have
people.
went to Riggs. Q-Op should have had a talk with Riggs. With Riggs' presentation on the whole Mark Sargent, Patricia Steer, and all them. Like, he showed me a presentation on that, like, legit, just one-on-one. And I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty good, pretty in-depth. And it's a lot better than that one picture. Because I don't know, that picture's like, yeah, all right, sure. Enough plastic surgery, you can make anybody look like anybody.
The nose is like, there's no way that's the same person. Just off
No,
nose, right?
no, it'd just be plastic surgery, right? To what extent?
Nose job, but something a little bit about the like her mouth
It's
is
the
way
eyes.
bigger than his. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, the eyes. The eyes are way
Sunken
bigger
in
than Randy.
eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, they both
Eyes
got
like
sort
sunken in.
of deep set eyes. Yeah.
He must have got the Steven Tyler surgery.
The what? Steven Tyler?
Yeah, he's the the singer of Aerosmith. He's got a gigantic mouth.
Oh, yeah.
But you can just tell like she has a sort of wider smile and a wider looks of it to me. I mean,
Well,
it could be
looks like
lighting, but I mean, their jawline is in a very similar position. Their mouth slightly open, and his is he just seems to have a more narrow.
yeah, one looks like a
Too
genuine smile on the left. He looks like he's genuinely happy, you know, and like, yeah. And the other one just looks like a fake sort of
It looks like a
kind of
trans
smile.
smile.
Well, yeah, maybe captured between sort of like unsure of exactly what's going on, but. So what? I mean, I think I've seen this before. I haven't gone too far into it, but what Riggy said, Riggs has a little bit more formidable of a presentation on it.
Well, yeah, Quap just did like a quick brief on it, you know, and Riggs just, dude, talk to Riggs, like you still talk to him, right? Yeah, you go, dude, ask him about Patricia Steer, Mark Sargent, and the family, dude. He took me through it step by step, and he left doubt on the table for me. You know what I mean? It's not like I left that and was like, nah, I still don't see it. I was like, holy shit, that was
I'll
pretty good.
say that the dentist guy that is supposed to be Mark Sargent, they do kind of look similar, but I definitely don't think they're the same person. Like, does the dentist guy even have blue eyes like Mark Sargent? Like, you can't surgically
contacts.
change your eye color. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's kind of obvious. You don't have like realistic eye color changing contacts right now.
Yeah, you can get fucking green eyes, you get blue eyes, you can get white eyes, you get all kinds of.
But they're all like
You get-
obviously fucked up if you have like any camera with a good quality on it.
Well, if you're getting close, yeah, if you're getting close to somebody in person and get real close to their eyes, you can see the depth. You know, you can see the lens on their eye. Yeah, a lot of chicks use them. A lot of chicks use colored
Yeah, if
contact.
you see a black girl with anything other than brown eyes, you know they're fake. Fake eyes, not real. There's this black chick I work with. She's got the most green, the brightest green eyes you've ever seen. It's like that shit is not real. No
Oh, I've
chance.
never seen like really strong green eyes on a black person.
There is like a small group of like a French Polynesian country with quite dark skin and yeah, like lighter colored eyes. It's pretty striking. And every so often you get the Indians who seem to have sort of more like
Yeah,
sort of
most
like
of those are fake
golden.
though.
What, the Indian ones?
If you talk about the
I
pictures, most of those, like I ran a few of them. People have posted on here, but
okay.
with eye color, and then I run them through like a filter, and it's like the percentage of errors and noise in the filter. It's like, all right, you know. So I say it's fake, but I don't really know. I don't, you know, I'm just going off of what the software is saying.
Yeah, I suppose I should hold my sentiments until I'd actually seen someone in real life. But I don't know, I saw this about like 10, 15 years ago before the internet got too wacky with all of its manipulations. But yeah, I know that Indian friend of mine at university shared the like these golden eyes. It was like kind of like a tint of green, but more like yellow or golden, less brown. There's a
Oh,
few
I know.
Indians that
Yeah,
seem to have that.
I would say that's a contact. When you can see the background color, like the background brown, and it's like a
There is
weird, odd color.
She wasn't wearing contacts, man.
No?
No, we went like we were hanging out for 2-3 years, and we would go, dude, unless she's bloody waking, like putting these contacts in constantly, permanently, like.
Rick Ski, Can I just? I knew a Persian girl who had like gold green eyes,
Yeah,
and they
like
wear
that.
contacts. Yeah, they're like a gold and green. They're amazing color. But she was Persian, so there are some Persians that get that color, like from Iran, uh,
Yep.
the Mesopotamian area. But it's not common, but there are some that get that color. I've seen a dude with like a gold color eyed before too, goldish green.
Yeah, I don't know. I was over in India. I didn't notice anybody with you know. I mean, I wasn't really looking for it either.
Yeah, what are you hanging out with the
No,
untouchables or
it's
something,
super
or
rare.
you got to
What do
go
you
find
mean?
the upper echelons usually?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I suspect because of their class system, which is
Yep.
probably, I don't know, been going on for hundreds of years, that yeah, it's been sort of almost selected for socially.
Yeah, like that color is just gonna make its way.
Yeah, because it's quite pretty, and rich man selects that woman, off you go, and you just keep cycling that through.
Yeah, or the rich woman, marries in. Next thing you know, the guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
Desirable
Because they're,
trait is a desirable trait.
well, I mean, yeah, they hate having black skin or dark skin. Um, you know, like the Chinese as well, always walking around with umbrellas constantly, don't like getting tanned. It's kind of unusual that it's like the absolute antithesis or the opposite of what the West does. White guys trying to look black, and their black guys are trying to look white. I don't
Get them
know
when
what
they're
that is,
young,
why
man.
that happened.
Put the
Yeah.
ideas in their head when they're young, and then they grow out of it, and they watch their kids repeat it, and they do nothing against it.
Trying to
There's
take
way
flat
more
Earth
than two
forward.
paths.
Generally trying to take flat Earth forward and find out the truth. And one of those is calling the other ones shills now.
Yeah, it is kind of. I guess what you're saying. That's what it. By the way, Wish, you're the one doxing right now. By the way, but Gatebreaker, you're saying that
How?
the people who are saying that it's well, not everybody's saying that TFE is fake is calling everyone agents, are they? Necessarily, is that what you're saying
Yes,
though?
that would be the implication, yeah.
That everybody who thinks TFE is real is an agent now, and everyone who thinks it's
Oh,
fake is a
everybody who
real.
is a part of TFE is an agent. I thought that was a question, or what you were saying.
No, but I think Gatebreaker is saying that if people are, or
Right, the people who
No, I'm
believe
just saying
TFE.
I'm not
I get
talking
it.
about anyone. I'm just observations. You've got the Gleason camp, which is the overwhelming majority, and a lot of them are, TFE's fake. And then you've got these other flat earthers who are trying to look for solutions, but to their eyes, they're perceived as as like shills or supporting. It's just very sad to see.
Would you say that you're adding opinion into this? Like, you call it just an observation. Do you recognize that you're adding an
Ooh.
opinion there and
No,
characterizing? You don't
because
think so?
I've been a flat earther before, and I know I know how it is. I mean, if you're convinced that TFE's fake and the people involved in it, like Whitsid and Jaren, that they're part of it, then naturally, if you see another flat earther that is supporting them and not calling it fake to what seems to those people obviously fake, then they're guilty of suspicion too.
Okay,
Not
my
rightfully guilty.
commentary was more on the fact of your qualification about the AE versus the dual pole model. You seem to say that one is has a future, the other one is not possible. Only a fool's errand would sort of follow it.
Not a fool's errand, but in my opinion, the Gleason end is the Gleason is over for me. In my opinion, it's impossible.
It would have to be.
Cool.
If TFE is real and I can trust Wisset, then, you know, Gleason's is trashed. AE's
Yeah,
trashed.
but I mean, I've said this a million times. There's a lot of other footage from Union Glacier, so you don't have to. Although, I mean, I've gone through all this. I mean, I only found one actual 24-hour sun footage before TFE happened, or whatever. I only found one that was actually it's actually like 2 cuts. It's like a 360 camera that has like 2 cuts. That's the only actual full 360 sun footage that I was able to find. But I found another like 7 or 8 videos that showed like the sun going, like traveling in the south, where it would be a problem for the AE thing, like going behind that mountain. There's about 7 or 8 of those. And then there's a bunch of other like still shots and other like video footage where you see the sun behind, like it's not moving, like in fast motion. But I'm just saying, like, I just don't think that if somebody is trying to figure out what they think about the TFE situation, all I'm suggesting is that you don't have to only depend on Mick Toon and Whitsitt and Duffy and Jaron or whatever. Like, I'm just saying there's lots of other footage that you can at least consider and analyze. You don't have to only take their footage.
I have a question. What is the probability that the Earth is a ball? From 0 to 100%.
That depends who you ask.
I'm asking Geo, currently. If anybody else wants to answer, go ahead.
You asking me something?
Yeah, I was asking what's the probability that the Earth is a ball?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
How is that
Just
a
saying,
loaded
you
question?
believe the Earth's a ball. How much do you believe it's a ball?
That's not what I'm
Like,
I'm
it's
asking
now
a flat
ball.
earther what the probability is of the Earth being a globe. That's not like
Well, I've never referred to myself as
Loaded
a flat
question.
earther, so you're making an assumption right there.
okay.
I don't use that term. Never
Oh,
have.
so the
I'm asking a
likelihood that it
free
could be true.
thinker. A free thinker, how's that?
So the likelihood the ball could be true. Yeah, there's a percentage value.
I'll give it 3%. 3%. How about that? Okay,
That's
It's
like
gotta be
saying-
more than 3%.
It's the possibility that you could be wrong. That's what you're saying. What is the possibility? What's the probability that you could be wrong? Like, well, yeah, there's a high probability I could be wrong. There's a high probability I could be right.
in reality, like no one calculates percentages though. But I reserve the right to go back if someone gives actual evidence. It could be a triple. You know what? If it's a globe, it's gonna be like a triple double deception. You know, they put out all this retarded fucking stuff just to make it look like it's not one.
I know that's one factor I was going to say, right. It's like all the images are fake, even though it's really a globe, because yeah, like when you look at, and there's so many angles to look at it from, but yeah, like what they
ISS
give us
footage.
of the globe is so bad. The outer
They lie
space
about the
stuff.
harnesses, but they
It's
actually
terrible.
need them.
And there's actually going to be a real explanation for why the sun looks close, and maybe the sun is close, but it's still a globe, like, you know, shit like that.
Yeah, and that would just fall into the realm of like, well, they've been lying about so much shit, right? It's actually true. The reason it doesn't make sense is because they lied about everything they're actually doing.
Yeah, like they're hiding
Why
the
it doesn't
real,
add up.
like they're hiding the real ball, and they're giving us the fake ball, but it's like really is a ball, but they're not giving us the real one, and then they're hiding some secret space dark side of the moon something, or I guess there's all kinds of theories. I mean, we could go into the globe thing, but I kind of thought Gatebreaker's point was interesting, kind of about like I don't know.
Camp split.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting because he is making a point there. See, the thing is, like, you have the globe thing, and then the thing is flat Earth, like the flat Earth name, the term, everything. Like, I don't know about you guys. When I first, like, I was looking in, like, okay, when I was a child, I won't give my whole story, but when I was a child, I questioned the globe very heavily. It didn't make sense to me in a lot of ways, et cetera, et cetera. In like 2004, I was researching like Hollow Earth and a lot of things, 9/11, all kinds of stuff. And I came across Flat Earth. I came across the Flat Earth Society website. And I did resonate with some of the things on there, like about lack of curvature, and there was some truth resonance that I had. But then there was like they were saying the Earth was rising up at 9.8 meters a second, like accelerating up, and that didn't really resonate as true to me. So I kind of got turned away from it. But at that time, like when I was looking into flat Earth, like you were kind of presented with like, yeah, Flat Earth Society, but then also like that AE map, obviously the Gleason's map, as being the flat Earth. And then obviously years later, like 2015, when everyone really started, it all started surging more, that Gleason's map was like the flat Earth, and then the ice wall, no 24-hour sun, all these things came along with it. And it was really like, in a way, it was like presented on the internet, like preloaded, you might even say, on the internet for people to find all that literature. You're going to find the AE map, the Gleason's thing. You're going to find like other maps like that are claimed to be kind of historical, like from the 1500s, like the Urbamonte map, things like that are kind of an AE type of a layout. And the thing is, even with all that, not everybody was saying it was the AE map. Some people were saying they don't know, they're on the fence, whatever. People like David Weiss obviously put it on his app, push it really hard. A lot of other YouTubers did, Eric Dubay and stuff, were really pushing it. And then the no 24 hour something and all that. But like at the end of the day, a lot of people were thinking, oh, well, it's not the globe. And so it must be this other thing that's all over the internet that everyone's talking about, and then they're like, yeah, I'm going to root for that team. And then they make t-shirts and coffee mugs and they're like, yeah, that's my thing or whatever. But not everybody really jumped on that, first of all.
And coffee.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
They make coffee.
Coffee mugs, I'm saying, putting the AE
like
map
the flat
on coffee
earthers, they also started to make coffee.
Okay. So, but what I'm saying is that like my main point is that when you have this sort of the globe thing and then this AE map flat earther thing, it's like this like there's like two options. Kind of it's like what's presented. And a lot of people jumped on the AE map to be like, now that's my thing. Even though they didn't confirm it. Like people like who are now saying, like some people that are saying that TFE is fake and that there's no 24-hour sun there. They might be questioning it for other reasons, maybe just because other reasons, or they might be wanting to, maintain the AE map. Everyone's maybe a little different. But my point is, like, they didn't check the AE map. Like, they didn't measure distances in the south. They didn't actually verify that it is the AE map. They're just like going off another thing that they were given, basically. Like the globe was given, the AE map was given, and then they're going that. Now, again, they may have different reasons to think TFE was fake than just supporting the AE map. But my point is, if they're doing that and they're being like, oh, it's the AE map and TFE's, like if some people are doing that, like that TFE is fake and it's the AE map, and then they're like disparaging other people that are looking at different models. Like we've talked about quadrupole, dual pole, like a tripole, like we've talked about all kinds of different things throughout the years. But if they're doing that, but it's like, what leg do they have to stand on? Like, have they measured the AE map? Do they know it's the AE map, or are they just going off another basically internet meme, more or less, that has a certain like history or claimed history to it that's on the internet, that people latched onto? So anyways, it's just kind of interesting. And then, yeah, I just thought that point Gatebreaker brought up was interesting because I don't know, like out there in the community, like how many people do think it's fake? How many people are like pro AE map? How many people are like disparaging others that are, that are considering other layouts? And anyways, so sorry, I know it's kind of long-winded, but yeah, go ahead. I was just kind of thinking about all of that.
By the AE map. Sorry, what?
Go ahead. No, I just didn't have a good way to wrap that up because it was kind of long-winded and I was saying a lot of different sections, but it's just sort of the large picture of like globe, AE map, people clinging to AE map. And then I don't think the TFE is the only thing. I mean, there's always been the Southern Stars and all that. And there's always been, but nonetheless, I guess them going like obviously brought more attention to the sun there. And they did get footage that people can now look at or whatever. So anyways, I'm just saying, yeah, just kind of like the way Gatebreaker was talking about, like sort of the camps and the kind of unfolding of everything. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what do you mean by the AE map? Are you speaking generally or like the exact way the AE map portrays it?
Well, if you have all the continents coming out from the center with like an ice ring around the outside, I mean, that is like the general layout of an azimuthal equidistant projection. But then, yeah, the Gleason's is like a particular type of layout. But yeah, like anyone who's sold on that layout, why were you sold on it? Did you check it? Did you verify distances? Did you do anything to check it? Or did you just jump on it? Is it a blind faith? What's the reason for believing it? Because I always kind of held it like 50-50 in my mind. I was like, oh, it's cool. It's elegant. It's beautiful. Kind of matches like the way the sun moves in the north, 24-hour sun in the north. Like, it's cool. I like it a lot. But like anyone who really is like compelled, like what, how have you, like, why do you think it's true?
Well,
When you
well, I
say,
think
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you say 50-50, what do you mean by like 50-50 globe? Like, what do you mean 50-50 on that?
No, I just, from like my position on the AE type layout has always been like, I just said 50-50. That wasn't like an exact percentage, but I've always like considered it as possibly being what the Earth is, like a planar stationary Earth, and the continents are laid out like that. I mean, I've said that over the years as well. Like, I've considered it. I've never claimed that that was 100% what I thought, what it is, because I haven't mapped the whole Earth. I just meant in general, like I always kind of held it as like it could be that layout, like it's
So
possible.
we could ask you the same of why you're on the dual pole now, right? Isn't that what the new thing that you're into is the dual pole?
Rested Soul, I don't think he's talking in bad faith. I don't know what you're doing.
Well, I'm not. I wouldn't say that I am asserting it's the dual
I don't know
pole.
why you're answering for him, Kawan. Why don't you just let me and him talk for a second?
I
Let him
think your
answer for
question is
himself.
unnecessary and it's going to cause trouble, dude.
I'm starting trouble because I asked him why he's what he's done to why he believes in the dual pole. It's the same question he just asked. Why people believe in
But
the
he's
why people,
asking the question to himself as well. He's saying we all need
why
to
don't you let
be
him speak for
careful about what we
himself? I don't know
Oh my
who you
dude.
are, but why don't you let somebody speak for themselves?
Yeah, she asked me a question. Let me just respond. Okay, first of all, I would not say that I believe in the dual pole at all. I don't assert that that is what the Earth is. I've said that many times. We've been talking about it thoroughly. What I will say is, okay, so when I first came to a lot of this, the lack of curvature, lack of motion, etc. The AE map obviously has been a thing that's been out there and circulated and all that. We've talked about it over the years, talked about, the tropics, the way the sun moves. We've all considered it as a blueprint. I never asserted that it was the AE map for sure, because for a lot of reasons, there's the stars at the equator, the sun rising southeast in the south, the whole 24-hour sun question. Is Antarctica really a ring around the outside? The continents seem distorted in the south, the greater distances between the continents, all that stuff. So I always kind of held it. I just said 50-50 just as a phrase, but I kind of always held it as like a up in the air. Like, it could be that, but we need to discover more. And the thing is, yeah, the discussions around TFE have kind of fueled things more. But the thing is, like, the Southern Stars were always an issue with the AE map, like always. And we've debated over the years. I always felt like there was never a solution for it. Witsit used to have like an argument about perspective. I didn't think that was at least some of the ones that him and others were saying really fit for it. I know like Shane and Alan have discussions about the Southern Stars. Some of those, I don't. Anyway, so I never felt like there was a solution for that. I always felt like it was kind of an outstanding thing that was a problem for the AE map. Maybe I had thought that, well, maybe it is a reflection. I had kind of considered some other ideas, or maybe there's a lensing effect or something. But them going down there, I do think was like, it brought more footage, and I do think it brought more access to that area, like more directly, rather than just the other videos, like them going there. So that is somewhat of a factor. But I think like partly for me is that in all these discussions, like the real thing for me with the dual pole is that I really realized that the thing is that there's GPs for every star in the south and the north. There's like a set GP. And like I said, unless somebody could prove that there's more than one GP. And if you have, just like in the north, you have a GP like under Polaris, a ground position, you have GPs under the Big Dipper. Well, in the south, there's also like GPs on the ground underneath all those stars. So that means that the South Pole is a fixed pole, just like the North one is, which then means, that's why I've been saying over the last few months, like, in my view, it has to be a dual pole planar Earth, or I guess a globe, but I don't think it's a globe. So that's where I'm at. I do think it's a dual pole planar Earth. I am willing to assert that from everything I'm aware of currently. But that dual pole map, I don't necessarily think that is the map. I think there's a bunch of questions I have about it. Like, even New Perspective and I somewhat like debate on it. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that I question about it. I don't necessarily think that map is like the correct layout. My current thing is that to me, it seems like it has to be a dual pole planar Earth. But I'm not trying to convince people of it. I'm not trying to tell others they have to agree or anything. But because of the GPs, because of the way the sun moves in the north and south, and because of the two star rotations, etc., I don't see any way that the AE map. and that's always been an outstanding problem with the stars on the AE map anyways. So that's why I've shifted more towards, that it is a dual pole rather than a single pole AE map. But yeah, Rusted, does that kind of respond to it or what you asked?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think most quote unquote flat earthers don't normally say like, oh, I subscribe to this model and everything. Normally the AE map I think is the first one presented. It's the most well known. And so when people think, oh, the earth is flat, that's what they go to. And I think most people hold to the idea that and the fact that we debunked the globe and what else can it be? It's likely flat, and so that's all we need to know. We're being lied to about the earth. Boom.
Yeah, that's been, I mean, when I came to a lot of this, like, yeah, the lack of curvature, the lack of motion, no evidence for either of those that I've ever seen that are valid. I mean, I haven't mapped the whole Earth. Like, I don't have all the answers. I don't think any of us do. Like, I've never mapped the entire Earth. So I have to be intellectually honest with myself that I don't know, obviously, beyond what I can perceive. I also have a deep connection spiritually, like to the ancient, like shamanic traditions and, et cetera, who have a planar Earth cosmology as well, and just ancient humanity. Like, that's part of it for me. I know that some people kind of write off any spiritual views on it, and just my own like connection with like what creation is, essentially what this realm is. But I don't have all the answers. But yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, the lack of curvature and lack of motion, and that the Earth isn't a globe, has been the main thing. And then yeah, the AE map has been kind of like presented on a silver platter, no pun intended, on a dinner plate pizza dish platter to everybody. And yeah, I mean, I think everyone's considered that could be it, in a way, but there was always these outstanding things like the Southern Star Trails, the stars at the equator, the expanded land in the South, all that stuff. And so, yeah, I always kind of held it as like a possibility.
Those
Yeah.
those people who think that the TFE is fake and would say that the behavior of the sun recorded is fake, I think whether they know it or not, they actually are bounded to the Gleason setup, because that's the only setup where there can't be an observed 24-hour sun on a level stationary plane. Dual pole has no issues, quote, no issues with a observed 24-hour sun, because the sun's literally orbiting around the South Pole. It's the Gleason setup and layout of flat Earth where you're looking that way, but the sun's all the way over there across the world. So whether these and people and it's thousands, just go look at any flat Earth video like on TikTok, Instagram. Everyone's calling it fake. Whether they know it or not, they think not only is the TFE fake, but they're also thinking, oh, the sky is fake because surely there can't be a 24-hour sun down there. Why? Because the Gleason map, which they never confirmed and were just given with flat Earth, it doesn't work on there. Because you shouldn't be able to look in one direction when the sun's across the world over there. So that's kind of like if you're bounded to the Gleason map, it's unfortunate.
Wait, so you're saying there's a lot, you think, I mean, all right, so you're saying you think out there in the kind of flat Earth world, as it were, you think there's a lot of people that are sticking to Gleason's and saying that there's no 24-hour sun and that they faked the trip? Is that
whether they know it or not? Why? Besides, like, the presentation we've seen from QOP, like the clouds and the pixels and whatever. Why deny the 24-hour sun? Why specifically deny the 24-hour sun?
Because they are literally shills. Destroying people's credibility in here.
Perhaps, but the real reason is because there is no way to explain it on the Gleason model. Flat Earth is for almost
Dude.
everyone, whether they know it or not. It's the Gleason.
You aren't even a flat earther, and you're in here trying to argue for shit that you aren't even a part of. Nobody cares about the Gleason's map, dude. It's because you've got 5 years plus of all of these things you've heard. So how could you possibly see some real evidence and flip your switch? That just
What? Okay,
must mean you're a shill.
watch this.
No, but
What would you have to see for the behavior of the
actually
sun
ridiculous.
and the South Pole for it to be real?
You have to be transparent, constant.
What
like,
would you have to see? Say
transparent.
say
No, Gatebreaker is making a good point, dude. Yeah, we are talking. I don't know, Wish, why you're trying to derail it. We're talking about the AE map.
I'm not trying
specifically
to derail it all.
that layout and how it's linked to the term flat Earth and how that we're talking about that. And the thing is that map or that type of layout basically doesn't have a South Pole, and it doesn't have a 24-hour sun, and it doesn't really have an answer that fits the way the GPs work with the stars in the South. And the thing is, we have the North Pole, and most people would agree, like, oh yeah, the stars have GPs, the sun goes around, whatever. But from everything, I've never been to Antarctica, so I don't know. I haven't been there. But if from everything I've seen to be able to glean, it does seem like there is a South Pole, the 90-degree South Point, and it does seem like there's the 24-hour sun there, and the stars rotate around it. So that means we would have 2 poles. There's 2 fixed poles with fixed GPs and points.
Yeah, he asked for a standard, right? Here's a simple standard that could easily be achieved by the world's authorities. Have a constant live stream of the sky in the south all year round, no breaks, high definition. And also just circumvent Antarctica in a very well-documented fashion. The whole thing that was supposed to happen. 3 flat earthers in one plane, plus 3 globe earthers, whatever, like people that is trusted, have it documented, have it be a trip that can be done, like constantly, for a reasonable fee. And that's it. Simple. Then we could begin to entertain it. Right now it's just so clouded in fucking mystery that it's just too confusing for people who are cartographically challenged like myself.
talking about flat Earth in this concept, I'm only comparing the Gleason flat Earth, which is others are calling it AE in this conversation. The Gleason flat Earth versus the dual pole flat Earth. My engagement in this conversation, I'm not putting down flat Earth. I'm not saying the Earth's not flat, which I do believe it's not. But that's not my intention in this conversation. It's just comparing one flat Earth versus the other flat Earth. And having experience with both of these, I just have opinions. I'm not an expert. I'm not anything. I have reasons for myself that I used for myself to choose. If the world had to be level and stationary, it would be more likely to be this one over this one for lots of reasons.
Okay, here's the thing. By the way, what Ricksky said is actually I think his point got breezed because he said the sky could be any. Like if you went in a computer right now, right, you could create a simulation. You could create like a Gleason map if you wanted to. I'm not saying this is actually the case. So just to fucking clarify that right from the beginning, create a Gleason's map exactly as it is right now. And then just program the sky to fucking render in completely different ways, all kinds of ways, unlimited kinds of ways to each person. You could just do that right now.
Okay, I hear you. The problem with that, though, okay, I've said this before too. Like if you have a planar Earth and you have a big TV screen in the sky, yeah, you could put anything on the TV screen. You could put anything you want, right? But the thing is that the stars don't seem to be just like an anything TV screen. Like they seem very consistent. They're like clockwork. There's the whole latitude longitude system. If you're at the equator and you're hanging out there, you're going to see the same stars. Well, there's the seasons and so on, but I'm saying like throughout the year, it's incredibly consistent. And then you have celestial navigation. So for celestial navigation to work, you have to have pretty darn consistent stars, meaning they can't just be anything at once, just all over the place. And then you have the ground position thing, where if we had a team to go around and put little flags on the ground underneath every single star and say, hey, I'm under Sirius. Someone else says, hey, I'm under Betelgeuse. Someone else says, hey, I'm under XY, all that. And if there's one GP for every star, then that means that they are in positions above us that are fixed to positions on the ground, which then means it can't just be anything. It actually is something that is a thing that is.
Not anything in the sense of like literally you can put like a giraffe in one. Like I'm saying like anything in the sense of some way in which it lines up consistently, but it doesn't require physical, located in 3-dimensional Cartesian space celestial objects. Like it could be consistent, and it could lead to, and it could have you, have the GPs lining up as each person switches their position, but also not have actual physical objects out there.
Okay, well, whether they're physical or not, though, they're in a position.
Well, objects with physical, I'm not saying like in the sense. I should just say 3-dimensional Euclid, like Cartesian, coordinate located things.
Well, I mean, like take the sun, for example, like because the band that the sun moves between the tropics, like Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, we can all observe that. We see it happening throughout the year. Now, there's a band of stars between the tropics too, like from 23.4 north to 0 at the equator, 23.4 south. Like in that band, there's also stars. Well, the sun is also moving between the band, slowly, obviously throughout the season. And now I have not been all the way around the world. I haven't gone to every single GP of the sun during, you know what I mean? So obviously I'm limited to some extent. I mean, I have been to the south. I have traveled parts of the world, but I haven't like seen the whole thing and all that. But I mean, as far as I know, the sun is tracking a very consistent path upon the ground, meaning there's a place on the ground that we call the Tropic of Cancer. You could go to it. You can travel to it. I've actually been to the Tropic of Cancer. I've been right under it. I have been there. You can go right to the Tropic of Cancer and you can say, and the sun will be right above you and that's it. And then a couple months, later, it's going to be at the equator. A couple months later, it's going to be the Tropic of Capricorn. A couple months later, it'll be back to the equator. You know what I mean? So like the sun does seem to have like very solid fixed GP points to the ground. And the sun is moving along the same path as the stars. So the stars would have the same. Like, do you agree or disagree? I'm just using the sun as an example because it's kind of a dramatic example that it does seem to track upon the ground in a very, very consistent way, which is almost like having light bulbs in the ceiling kind of thing, like they're consistent rather than it's just could be anything. It's just, that it could be just any type of, projection up there.
I'm not, when I say anything, again, I'm just stressing that it could all, by anything, I mean something which is geometrically consistent, but doesn't require the sun to be us to be all looking at the sun in the same spot in Cartesian coordinate space.
Yeah, I suppose like at some point I'd be appealing to the notion. You guys are familiar with that lunar wave propagation, which later sort of it was observed by I think Crow 777, and it's turned into now like a sky wave propagation. So I think that's very curious, and it tells us or it informs me anyway, that there are properties to the sky which we have no clue about whatsoever. Why is that lunar wave there? I mean, if it is real, right? There are qualities to the sky that we still do not absolutely comprehend. And I mean, what is that? A refresh something? Like I know that kind of brings back to the notion of the screen that Gio was pointing out before, that there's like a refresh rate on the sky or something. But I don't know. I guess I'm just not boxed in, and the true nature of the sky, I'm willing to. I don't need this whole GP thing. I mean, it could be a fun house of mirrors or something going on up top. It could be the fact that there's 4 quadrants to the south, and Australia, like anyone on continental Australia, is going to be looking into that quadrant. Anyone in South America is going to be looking into that. So we all kind of, and it's like mirrored around the outside. And then what is it? Like very few people seem to travel from continent to continent on the southern at the south. So like getting someone to have a true observation like somewhere in the middle of these 2 poles, I don't know, maybe that's just not possible. I'm just sort of a little bit more open-minded about it. I don't think this GP thing necessarily solves it, because you're making very specific claims about the physics of the sky that I don't know, it could be a little bit more open than that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't been around to every part of the earth to check every GP, obviously. But I mean, there's the Nautical Almanac. Now, I know somebody could say it's like an appealing to authority. So I guess everyone has to choose how they come about all this information. But there is the Nautical Almanac, and I just don't know of any time that's ever been recorded that there's more than one GP for any celestial body. Wish you're hot miking again. That there's ever been more than one GP for any celestial body, which is what would be required, you know what I mean, for it to be anything other than that. So I don't know. I mean, the Nautical Almanac is they use it in all kinds of things, like navigation, for a lot of different factors. And my statement is not like 100% there is only one GP. My statement is like, it seems to be that everything points to that. And unless somebody could show that there is more than one GP, then it stands that there's one GP in my mind. Like, I'm not trying to assert that everyone else has to believe what I think or whatever, but I'm just saying, this seems like the way it stands. Like, unless someone could show that there's anything different happening, when the whole history of humanity seems to be that there's singular GPs for every position, just like there's the tropics, the equator for the sun. That seems pretty consistent.
Also, between this dual pole and Gleason, their distances for the southern hemisphere is vastly off. You guys know the tropics, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn? Cancer is the one in the northern hemisphere and Capricorn's in the southern hemisphere. In both the globe and the dual pole and concave, virtually every other model, these tropics, the distance around them, we're talking about real distances around them, they're similar. They're similar in the perimeter. If you were to go in a circle and come back, they're similar in size. The odd one out is the Gleason map.